You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, January 22nd, 2021. Now, this whole week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, and last week too, we have been answering this central question. Who is Jesus Christ, and what are the facts found in the Gospels that prove he is the Son of God and the Messiah? Talked about so many things. The fact that he is eternal, the fact that he forgives sins and heals people and works on the Sabbath and knows your needs, and that he came to gather in the nation of Israel. All of these things prove without a doubt that he is the Son of God. Now, we started talking about this yesterday, and we're going to keep talking about it today. At one point, Jesus turns to his closest group of followers, and he asks them, "Who do people say that I am?" He's saying, you've been out there with the crowds. You've heard what they're thinking. What do they say about me? And they respond, some say you're John the Baptist. Some say you're one of the prophets from the Old Testament. Jesus nods, and then he says, okay, but who do you say that I am? And of course, in this moment, Peter responds with profound faith, saying, you are the Messiah, the Holy One of God. Now, what's important here is not necessarily what Peter says, it's what you say. Jesus puts this question to you. You've heard all of the evidence for the fact that he is the Messiah and the Son of God. But whether you are able to say without hesitation, without doubt, Jesus is God. Jesus is the Messiah that came to set me free. Unless you're able to say that like Peter did, then you aren't able to follow Jesus. Following Jesus is a decision to be all in, to give him everything. You can't just follow Jesus on Sundays and Wednesday nights. Following Jesus is a lifestyle. It's a choice that involves every piece of you. Now, we have an incredible American saint that has a feast day tomorrow. And the saint, her name is St. Marianne Cope, one of my favorites. She is an incredible example of what it looks like to be all in as a follower of Jesus Christ. St. Marianne Cope was born in 1838 in Germany, but when she was a girl, her family immigrated to the United States and she grew up in New York State. While she was there, she went to school, but she had to stop her education when she was young because her father could no longer work to support her family. So she was forced to work long hours in a factory. Eventually, after her youngest sibling was done with their education, she became a sister. She became a Franciscan, and she gave her life to the education of the poor. Now, she was a natural leader. She was a very prayerful and holy woman. She rose in the ranks of her order. She founded hospitals and schools and served as a leader in her organization of religious women. But at the time, there was a great need. The nation of Hawaii, it was not a state yet, they had many lepers. In fact, they had a whole island where the lepers lived, and they lived there by themselves with basically no services or help because people were terrified that if they went there, they would get leprosy too. So the Hawaiian king was looking for a religious organization to go there and help. They approached many religious communities asking them to help, but they all said no until they got to St. Marianne Cope. So Marianne Cope said yes. She saw that these people with leprosy, that they needed help, they needed Jesus, they needed basic care and love. And if no one else was willing to go there and be Christ for them, she was willing to do it. So, along with a handful of other nuns, she sailed for Hawaii, and she lived on the island of Molokai. Another saint, Saint Damien of Molokai, had founded a small community there to serve the lepers. She arrived to help Saint Damien die a peaceful death. He died of leprosy, which he had contracted from the people that he was serving. And after he had died, St. Marianne Cope and her community got to work bringing this sad, sick little community on Molokai to life. They brought love and happiness and joy here. They organized game nights and made beautiful clothing for the women and took care of their basic needs and, of course, brought Jesus. Everything that they did was with Jesus and for Jesus. And St. Marianne Cope wrote that when she looked into the suffering face of a person who had leprosy, she didn't see that person. She always saw the suffering face of Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the Son of God who had come to this world to set us free. Every person she saw Jesus in them. Everything she did for Jesus. She had answered this question, the question Jesus put to his disciples and he puts to us too. Who do you say that I am? You've seen the facts. You've heard them all. But none of that matters unless you make this decision for yourself. And after you make that decision, if you allow yourself to be changed, and if you are all in. And so, Sprouts, today is the final day that we will be doing our Jesus prayer as our challenge. And I want you to make this count. As you say the Jesus prayer 5 times, I want you to really ponder, really search your heart. Am I all in? I won't be called to do the same thing as St. Marianne Cope, but I will be called to do something. Am I all in? Do I really believe, Jesus, you are the Messiah, the Holy One of God? Am I all in? That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. Just one more thing. The Jesus Tree, according to John, a brand new Lenten study, is available for purchase. And I encourage you to grab a copy because Lent will be here before we know it. This year, we will walk you through most of the Gospel of John so that you are ready to be at the foot of the cross during Holy Week and celebrate the resurrection of the Lord at Easter. We are also excited this year to offer the study with a poster and sticker sheet to help counting down be even more fun. Follow the link in the description for this podcast to get your copy before we run out.